Hello again, welcome to a new video. This Monday I was figuring out some more stuff with the character controller, and I discovered this thing called lairwaits for the animator. And what this lets me do is take a piece of one animation and layer it over top of another one. So what I'm gonna do is have a mechanic where you can pick up items and use them for like puzzles or for like throwing objects at enemies or something. And right now I just have the animation set to a button that I can press, but when I get this working, it'll trigger when an object hits the top of your head. But as you can see, I basically was able to take a one frame animation of him holding his arms up, and then I took the top half of his body and layered it over top of the running animation. So I don't have to like reanimate his legs 2 more times. I can just have that one frame and then layer it over top, and it makes it really easy to add new animations and stuff. This Tuesday I was just working on the item and fighting system, I guess. The way I want to set it up is so that all the movement buttons, like all the moves or all the movement moves, are also like attacks and also like utility moves. So like they all kind of weave together. So let's say this is an item or an enemy. If you slide into it, it'll knock it up. And then if it lands on top of your head, you pick it up like an item. And then if you press X again, you won't slide, but you will throw it first, and then you can slide after that. And I think this will allow for a lot of interesting gameplay where you can utilize these moves for fighting enemies or doing puzzles like getting a block and putting on a button, and so on. But yeah, there's a few things I need to fix, like basically with the slide, a lot of the movement that's being put into this pill shaped thing is like I want to have it fully controllable through code. So right now, like just the kinetic movement from the slide is like pushing it way farther than I want it to. And so I want to have it where as soon as you push it, it'll go onto a different collision layer for like a few seconds or like half a second. And that will make it so I can fully control how powerful your slide attack pushes it, and it'll make it easier hopefully for the player to catch up to it and pick it up. Because right now, like a lot of the time it pushes it far away and you won't be able to pick it up unless you like push it against a wall. So that's where I'm at with that. And I also need to add in the actual throwing animation. But yeah, I'm glad it's working, kind of, at least. This Wednesday I've just been messing around with layers in Unity, and what this allows me to do is make it so I can have different collision layers for the character and the items. So what I mean by that is what I've set up is the first half second that you slide into an object, it will put the object on a different collision layer. So technically the player's glider goes through the box collision, so you can kind of see it there when I slide it into the wall. And the reason I'm doing this is so I can control exactly how I want the slide, or how powerful I want the slide to knock the object into the air. Because before, when the slide was hitting the object, the player's collider was also colliding with it, which made it go a lot farther than I wanted it to. But now when you slide into it, because of the different layers, it'll hit the object into the air exactly how I coded it to. So, and I made it a lot less powerful, so then it's way easier to pick up after you slide into it. This Thursday I kept working on the character controller. I added in a new move, which is like a shove or something. It's the animation for it's not that great, but basically it'll push you forward like a little bit faster than your running speed. And I want to make it so then it kind of like shoves the items like in a horizontal direction, because like right now, well, before the shove you could only like throw items, and that's kind of like inaccurate for if you want an item in a specific spot. So I added the shove, and I need to tweak it a bit more so then it actually like moves the item better. And then another thing I added was the start of the game master kind of script. So basically it's like the thing that pieces the game together. So it'll hold all the data, like how many coins you have, what levels you've unlocked, what characters you've met, stuff like that. And yeah, I also added in like a coin to test it out. So right now you can see on the screen we have $0. And then when I pick up this coin, I have $1. And then if I had like a button for like saving or whatever, I could click that, and then the next time I start up the game, I'll still have $1. So yeah, there's still a lot I have to add to it, but I'll get to that eventually. But yeah. This Friday I've just been busy working on other things, such as the new transitions you're seeing in the video. I also redid the bike animation because there's like something wrong happening with it. And then I also noticed there's like a problem with how the humanoid rig type kind of doesn't recognize fingers and toes on my character rig. So I gotta figure out why it's acting like that. I don't know, I guess it's just not recognizing them, and then it just keeps them in a default position even though the animations I've imported are correct. So if we look at this idle pose, he is clenching his fists. And then if we look at the bike, he has his fingers closed on the handles, but of course he's not actually doing that in game, and it has something to do with the configuration for the rig. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to fix that at some point. But yeah, at least I have the bike animation in again, because it kind of got wrecked somehow. But yeah, I'll end it there for this week, and I hope you liked the new transitions. I know some of you liked the cat video transitions, but I've like run out and I don't want to keep like repeating them. So I've just made these like kind of wacky transition animations, and yeah, I hope you like them. But that's gonna be it for me for this week, and I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll catch you in the next video.